We are just waiting on referee Joanne Horwood, who does get us underway. The wait is over. Southampton and Ipswich get their new campaigns up and running and also create a little bit of history. This, the first ever WSL 2 meeting between these two sides. Southampton throw. Primus went to try and hook it around the corner, miscue, so it will be Ipswich Town with a chance to build some possession early on. Here come Southampton, first touch for one of their 6 debutants. Ellie Brazil getting involved in the build-up play, and she's met with the return ball. Dispossessed, and the referee does award the first free kick of the game. So a new head coach, Simon Parker, guided Blackburn to 6th and 10th place finishes in the Women's Super League 2. Set pieces are always a huge asset for whatever team it is. Let's see what Southampton can do with their first, and it's straight into the welcome arms of Natalia Negri. Last year's Golden Glove winner in the National League Southern Premier Division. She'll be glad to get a neat and tidy claim out of the way early on, and she's watching as her team go forward on the opposite end. First touch for Natasha Thomas, the Jamaican international, who slowed up, but it will be an Ipswich throw. Nice turn. Here's the chance to shoot there. Oh, the defender read that situation really well. Stepped up to cut out the danger. As Southampton look to use this big pitch. Excellent legs from Ellie Brazil. I think she's favourite there. The goalkeeper in no man's land. Primus, and the strike comes in, and what a firm save that is. Well, she's had a busy opening couple of minutes here. Natalie Negri making the step up to the second tier, and that's the sort of attacking prowess she's going to face. And she came up to match the strike there, but does concede a Southampton corner, which is put on the goalkeeper. It was an Ipswich head that helped divert the ball away. Here are Southampton. Collette. Ball comes in midfield, but dispossessed. Nicely claimed there. Ipswich, rather than race forwards, opting to keep possession. Negri goes long. Headed clear. Thomas looking to roll the defender. Coming together, but the referee saw nothing wrong there. Two sides struggling to keep possession and look to build an attack as the ball's turned over once again. Thomas is headed towards Dean. Really physical battle in the middle, and that's a cute ball around the corner. Brazil angles against her. Wow, what a promising start it is from Ellie Brazil. Inches away from a first goal for her new club. And the warning signs are there already for Joe Sheehan and Ipswich Town, both for involvement in build-up play and pace in behind. 7th season in charge for Joe Sheehan. Masterminded 2 promotions during his time, the club's most successful period in their history. He has challenged them to be the best newly promoted side the league has ever seen at WSL 2 level. Dean can't hold it up. Nice chested control there from Peplo. Sprays the ball out wide. Difficult one with the bounce. Southampton still in possession. First touch for Fran Stenson. Southampton wanting to play it short, but there's limited options. They're having to go over the top. McAloney does well, but that's a heavy touch. Thankfully for Southampton, they're able to keep possession. Primus. Options are on towards the right, which she finds. That's a lovely ball out wide. Is the cross going to come in? A crucial touch for Ipswich. Red and white shirts getting in the way there of the eventual shots. Dean having to try and do a 1-2 with herself there to hold up play for Ipswich, but this is a really bright start here from Southampton. Stenson. Plenty of fizz on that ball out wide to Goddard. On the stretch, looking down the line. Brazil's the target. Can Ipswich look to build here? That's a lovely bit of close control, and it does present Ipswich with a breather, but also a set-piece opportunity. Bourne the offender. As you can see, all of Southampton's outfield players back behind the ball. It is met by an Ipswich head and towards goal. Goalkeeper, both hands to his side, indicating there was no trouble there, but the first bit of attacking intent shown from Ipswich Town. Well, if you'd want a chance to fall to anyone, it would be last season's Golden Boot winner, Sophie Pescott. As that allowed Ipswich to find their strides here. They've been largely on the defensive foot, and that's the question being asked once again. Look at that pace to burn from Ellie Brazil. Needs to hold it up, needs some support. Gets it from a captain! And what a finish that is! New season, new captain, and Atlanta Primus rewards her head coach's faith by striking home just what the home support would have wanted. It was a disappointing campaign last time out for Southampton, but in 25-26, they're up and running inside 10 minutes. Southampton 1, Ipswich 0. You can't say the warnings haven't been there. Ellie Brazil knows she's got the number of this Ipswich defence, but look at this for composure. Waits for the best option, and that is clinical from the Jamaican international. Perhaps doubted a future at the club after being on loan last season at Charlton. She's back with the St Mary's outfit, and it is her strike, which is the first goal scored by a home team in this new WSL 2 campaign. Let's see how Ipswich can respond. They knew that this season was going to be very drastic in terms of expectations. They were winning the majority of games last year, just 2 defeats all season. They did both come on the road, and they are behind away from home on their opening day. Bourne, too close to the goalkeeper, who was pressured there, but tracked the ball the whole way, stayed brave, and was able to take the pressure off her defenders. Oh, Ipswich taking risks here, losing possession. Brazil looking for Primus, that's the link up, and the referee tried to play the advantage before pulling it back for a Southampton free kick. Good officiating there from Joanne Horwoods. So that's what play was pulled back for. Robertson with the foul. And it is another Southampton set piece. Tara Bourne goes for goal, does she? Oh! Well, the goalkeeper was flat-footed there. Close to a sensational free kick. A wry smile drawn from the Southampton centre-half. But she's clearly got that in her locket. Look at the distance and look at the dip. That's why Negri was unsure. At one point, it looked to be comfortably sailing over. But that late fade. Southampton throw. Brazil, who's been involved in pretty much every single Southampton attack. Bourne. Primus looking to shield the ball. Macaloni provides the width. Ipswich throw. Pescott. Touch let her down. Perhaps understandable that there's a few nerves out there from those visiting players. Drew national headlines following their achievements in gaining promotion to the second tier of the pyramid for the first time in their history. And they're in here behind. Rihanna Dean. Angle is against it. But that's what you perhaps would want from your striker. There was nothing else on, and she was brave enough to try and work the goalkeeper. And that's the first time here today that Ipswich have had some joy in behind. Nice ball over the top. It was an injury-blighted spell at Southampton for Rihanna Dean. So no doubt she'll be keen to impress in front of those who used to be cheering her on. Primus. Bourne. Trying to use that passing range of hers to pick out Brazil. And that's what Southampton are doing really well. They're winning a lot of second balls here. Goddard comes to meet the goalkeeper's clearance, and it does invite Southampton to come forward once again. Vastly experienced Amy Goddard, formerly of the Southampton Academy. So great to see her back at the club, which started off her footballing journey. It's a nice roll there from Mitchell. Doesn't see enough on, though, to try and encourage the visitors to come forward. It's being forced here. Southampton are pressing well. That's good link-up play. An excellent acceleration from Peskett. She's got support. Looks to return the ball. Again tries to go across goal, and it's a last-ditch challenge that puts it behind for an Ipswich corner. Really good link-up between Peskett and Lucy O'Brien. Jess Simpson it was, with her first major contribution to the game. 20-year-old on loan from Manchester United. First Ipswich corner will be an outswinger, which is comfortably gathered by Fran Stenson. Peplow. Bourne, who's seen plenty of the ball in this opening 17 minutes at St Mary's. Right-hand side is where the Southampton goal came from. And there is a constant rotation of that attacking line that is being employed by Simon Parker's sides. McAloney this time. Scotland's former youth international. Excited about the challenge of playing in English football for the very first time. Primus, dispossessed. What you would say is just there's perhaps not quite the acceleration or the speed of counter-attack for Ipswich Town so far. But they are showing good technical glimpses. Long ball towards Dean. Comfortably met by Goddard. I was about to say heavy touch, but Grace Neville was tugged back. Free kicks floated down the line. O'Brien tried to slow Southampton up. Bourne. Happy to receive the ball under pressure. The ball down the line looking for Brazil. As you can see at the top of your screen there, great support for Southampton. Latest update was over 700 season tickets sold for this campaign. There'll be some visiting supporters who've made the journey to the St Mary's Stadium as well. Both experiencing crowds into their thousands last season. Stenson. McAloney, her layoff. Ipswich can't get back to cover. They can't stop the cross either. This is relentless from Southampton. Well, he perhaps doesn't look it, but Simon Parker will be the happy of the two men in the dugouts. Foul there on Mitchell. As you can see, Ipswich in no hurry with this set-piece situation. Plenty of height, certainly in that Southampton back line. Lofted free kick, which comes to nothing because there's a foul on the Southampton defender. Dean adjudged to have committed the foul, arguing her case. It is Amy Goddard who's down on the turf. Not really conclusive from that replay. Vastly experienced at this level, Amy Goddard. Stenson. Southampton can't, well, I was about to say can't keep hold of the ball, but they come away with possession. Ferguson. Nice cut infield. Peplow. This is what Ipswich have to be careful of. They can't allow Southampton to build because so far they are proving to be the better footballing side. Bourne spots Brazil. Tries to hold it up. Neville's clearance. Only as far as Simpson, who goes past three in blue. Heavy challenge there, which has seen the Southampton player still remain on the deck. She glided past three. We'll have a see here. Look at this. Good strength, good close control. Then she comes to meet Grace Neville with full force. Back on her feet and looking to be okay, but it will mean that Saints are down to 10 for at least 30 seconds. So Southampton with a player less for the time being. See Peplow there just in the centre of the field, just telling him to keep possession until the referee does allow Jess Simpson to return back to the action. No need to take any risks. They are a goal up. Victories have been hard to come by of late on the opening day of the season for Southampton. Well, victories full stop here at the St Mary's Stadium as well. Just one home win throughout the entirety of last season's league campaign. And that came against, by far, the poised team in the division, Sheffield United. Rowe with the throw. Looking down the line. It's a real physical battle for those Ipswich attackers. And they do get the decision this time around. Goddard deemed the offender. Last time Ipswich did have a free kick and an opportunity to get the ball into the box. It was Goddard who was fouled. They have to go short this time. Ball sent in and helped on, but that's not going to trouble Fran Stenson. Natasha Thomas with her first effort at goal. The club's record goal scorer. 10 years with Ipswich Town. Neville. It's a good turn there from... Well, Ipswich are appealing there. The decision is goal kick. O'Brien and Pescott again trying to link up. Good spell here for Ipswich. But could they be done on the counter here? Sweeping ball over the top. Going the long way around. The defender Bethan Rowe. And the decision is corner. Well played by Ferguson, stuck to the task, despite the defender's best efforts. Went the long way around and gets the decision. Corner bathed in sunshine here. Tricky for the goalkeeper who stays on a line. Initially thought about coming. Another Southampton corner. Born to take. Met by the head and nestles in the back of the net. It's a debut goal for Amy Goddard. Goal scorer, Saints number 5, Amy Goddard. Which marks a dream return to the club for the centre half. It comes amidst Ipswich's best spell when they were looking to threaten at the other end. Excellent corner from Bourne. It's the two centre halves combining. She wanted that more, and she's able to double the Saints' advantage. Inside half an hour played. Southampton 2, Ipswich 0. Well, Ipswich need to be careful here. Still a long way to go in this game. They won't want to see Southampton rack up the goals here, but that's just exactly what the majority of the support at St Mary's will want. It was a season of very few highlights last time out, and so far so good for the new campaign under their new head coach. And coming forwards, looking for more here. Rowe, Ferguson on her back. Goddard. Again, Southampton happy to take their time here. A comfortable cushion, helping settle any early nerves that they might have had. Well, their head coach spoke about it being a free hit for Ipswich, newly promoted, nothing to lose. And a potential banana skin for Southampton, but it's proving to be the exact opposite so far. A clear difference between the two sides, and another set-piece opportunity. Thomas, it is, working hard off the ball, but just too enthusiastic to try and win back possession. Goddard scored from the last dead ball situation. You'd expect Bourne to take once again with that right foot. It is. Did find a Southampton head, but Neville's able to try and clear. Peskett, the only one advanced for Ipswich. As you can see, it's not a high press being employed here by Ipswich Town. Trying to get plenty of numbers back behind the ball. Trying to squeeze the pitch and make it difficult. Bourne. Primus is the target, but she's well marshalled. You can see Ipswich want people to come short in midfield, but I don't know if it's a lack of confidence, but no one really showing, so it has to go long, and that just allows Southampton to engage and win the ball back. Peskett brings down Peplow. Just over 10 minutes of normal time remaining in the first half. Primus and Goddard with the goals so far. Boswell's header. Primus able to nudge it back into offensive territory for Southampton. McAloney did well. Good strength. Cross comes in, which the goalkeeper should take, but it's taken off her by a captain. Where's the communication there amongst the Ipswich back line? O'Brien does really well there, but I was about to say she couldn't get away from Ferguson, but she was impeded. Well, it's been a lively opening, almost 35 minutes to life in WSL 2 for Natalie Negri. Looked to be a comfortable catch there, but neither her nor captain Maria Boswell made a significant shout. Thankfully for Ipswich, it came to nothing. Heavy challenge there on Lucy O'Brien. Many did question whether Ipswich would be able to cope with the physicality of life in WSL 2. Neville. Back to Boswell. Peak. Southampton forced the mistake and win a throw. Jess Simpson, 20 years of age, has been at Manchester United since the age of 11, but spending time at Southampton to bring a game on. And she has been one of those who stood out early doors. Many in red and white have been performing really well so far. Ferguson, again in a battle with Rowe, which the Scot once again is able to win at the expense, from an Ipswich Town perspective, of another corner. Simpson it is, who heads over to take Southampton's fourth corner of the game. They go short this time. Poor pass, but they'll have another opportunity. Deep cross, which no one's able to claim. Peskett keeps it in play for Ipswich Town. But there's just no route through. Ipswich dwell on the ball, taking risks, but they get the decision. Bourne with the foul. Well, accomplished at both ends, both defensively and an offensive asset. Her corner, which was met by fellow centre-half Goddard to double the advantage. And Southampton looking for more here. Thomas backtracking for Ipswich. Lovely spin. Still going. McAloney eventually stopped. But good pressure. Ipswich really struggling to clear their lines here. Rowe with the nutmeg. She would have liked that. A bit of light relief in the middle of what has been a really, so far, chasing an experience for Ipswich Town. Southampton just able to take the sting out of the game much more easily, just build a few more passes together. It all seems so hurried at times from an Ipswich perspective. So this is the second game of the new season in the Women's Super League 2. Don't forget, every game live on the Women's Super League 2 YouTube channel. And the opening weekend continues on Sunday with 4 more fixtures. We haven't reached, though, halfway in this one. And what we've seen in the opening almost 40 minutes, it does look as though Southampton are en route to a comfortable big victory. Simon Parker, who's established a reputation of developing players, that would perhaps suggest why there was a big changeover in personnel. He's a man who can deal with a variety of bodies coming in and also allowing those younger players to grow and gain more experience. Neville. Well, one of the bright sparks has been Lucy O'Brien. She's the one who does engage with the ball back to goal under pressure. And the manager, Joe Sheehan, will appreciate that. It will be quite a debrief at half-time, because you can talk about stepping up and what the level will be like, but until you've played it, there's no doubting, though, Ipswich Town are getting a firm smack in the face when it comes to the reality of playing in WSL 2. I mean that figuratively, not literally. Primus. Thomas. Ipswich free kick. Ipswich go long. Players from both sides have stayed down, and much to the frustration of Dean, that's why the referee's taken the decision to stop play. 2 Southampton players, and I can see it's Natasha Thomas there, closest to the camera. And this is exactly what happened. I think it's 2 Southampton players coming together at the same time. Well, we hope all 3 players are okay. It's encouraging so far as for Thomas from Ipswich. You can see it's Collette and Goddard from Southampton. Whilst unwanted, it does allow both coaching staff an opportunity to offer some feedback. Medical staff going through the concussion protocols. No chances will be taken here. Goddard, it is, slowest to get back to her feet. Joe Sheehan, he's learning as well, isn't he? Obviously, they've had successes in the FA Cup against higher tier opposition. Not that they're playing higher tier today. They deserve their place in the WSL 2, but this is an experienced outfit. Maybe not experienced as a squad, as we referenced in the build-up. Lots of new faces, but plenty of players drawn throughout the division who've played at this level for a number of years, including the scorer of the second goal, Amy Goddard. And so far, they appear to be executing the game plan just right. Saints need to defend, though, because it will be just checking here. Not sure if it's going to be a drop ball or a free kick, because it was Goddard who came over the top of her own player and took out Thomas at the same time. I'm not sure if the referee's just querying exactly what happened. Thomas is also being invited back onto the field. She'd headed over to the side. So it is going to be what is supposed to be an uncontested drop ball. Thomas straight back into the action. Shot came up off the foreheads of Goddard. Southampton loop down the line. Brazil, who's been quiet for a decent spell. She was that real threat early on. And it will be a Southampton free kick. As we tick over into a minimum of 5 minutes added stoppage time here in the first half. Boswell. Ferguson read the bounce, looking to slide in Brazil. And it's another corner conceded by Ipswich Town. Maria Boswell, their captain, 7 seasons in the blue of Ipswich Town. Picked up an injury at the back end of last season's promotion-winning campaign, but no issues since her return. Good corner, which is met at the near post. What a dream first half this has been so far for the Saints. It's another debut goal, this time Mary Bashford on the score sheet. We spoke about the need for Southampton to score more goals this time around. Well, they had 3 in the space of almost 47 minutes. Set piece, another corner. You can question the Ipswich Town defending, but we have to credit the clinical nature of the hosts. We're still not yet at the break, but it's Southampton 3, Ipswich 0. Well, questions are really being asked here of Ipswich Town. The half-time whistle can't come soon enough. It appears already to be a case of damage limitation. We had a high-scoring game already in the WSL2. The opening game finished Sheffield United 0, Sunderland 4. And Southampton certainly doing their bit to try and eclipse that scoreline. Well, the goalkeeper again being called into action. This time she did really well to prevent the angle opening up there for Megan Collette. But once again, Southampton find a way through, operating really slickly in tight areas. Cleared by Peak. The story of this first half so far, certainly offensive-wise for Ipswich Town, is just that inability to hold up play whilst in Southampton territory. Well, if it's not going to come from direct open play, set pieces, which have been a huge asset of Southampton's game, maybe that's a way back into this match for Ipswich Town. Rowe it is. Arm aloft. High line being held here by Southampton. Low ball, which flicks up off the turf. Thomas. Back to Neville. Goddard's diving header. And that's really ambitious. But I guess that's a sign of where Ipswich Town find themselves, that they're striking the ball more with hope rather than expectation. Paige Peak, not renowned for her goal-scoring attributes. And she was part of a defensive unit which kept a lot of clean sheets last season. And the referee does call time on what, from a Southampton perspective, has been an enthralling first 45 minutes. Primus with the opener, Goddard with the second, and Bashford in stoppage time. Their second goal from a corner. Smiles and high fives all around from a home perspective. But at the break, Southampton 3, Ipswich Town 0. Ipswich Town, and there's been two changes made by head coach Simon Parker at the break. Ashanti Akpan just at the centre of your screen there. She is one of those to be introduced to the action. So too Ruby Tucker. So it was 6 debutants in the starting 11. And that number now raises up to 8 new faces for Southampton. And they're on the offence here early on. And Negri it is, once again, being called into action. Looking to resume action exactly where they left it. Southampton scored in stoppage time of the first half, and a chance inside the opening 60 seconds of the second. Ferguson skips away from one challenge, but they're able to so just confirmation of those changes. Tucker and Akpan introduced to the action, making way Peplo and Brazil. Goddard's header. Neville. Good turn there from Peskin. Need to see more of that if Ipswich are going to try and force their way back into this game. I guess it's an indication of the strength and depth that Simon Parker has at his disposal. Ellie Brazil in particular had a really bright opening 15 minutes or so, then did go a bit quiet. But he's got some new faces, 2 19-year-olds, teenagers keen to make their impression. And what better way to be introduced to life at Southampton than coming on for the second half with your side already 3-0 up. Ball just dribbles out of play. It'll be a Southampton throw. Simon Parker, appointed in July, had a good pre-season. What about Joe Shannon? This is by far the biggest task ahead of him, because it's not just about today, is it? It's the whole season, and I'm sure if you offered them one place above the relegation spot right now, they'd take it. O'Brien looking to change the narrative in this game. You do feel as though if it is to be realistically competitive, Ipswich have to get the next goal. Ferguson, one of those new faces who's slotted straight in. And that's also Ruby Tucker there, just on the right of shot. Brought in from Aston Villa. Scorer of the opening goal, Primus. Commits a foul, so it will be free kick to Ipswich. Comfortable decision for the referee. Boswell comes across and clears. Akpan's header. Bourne. Good spot there. McAloney got away from Robertson, but was eventually tugged back, and she's got plenty to say to her teammates about, I guess, the huge gap in between midfield and that back line. Neville. O'Brien. Was she impeded? The answer's yes. Just grab of the thigh there from Tara Bourne. Certainly been in the thick of things here today. The Southampton centre-half has an assist, one of 2 goals scored from corners. Thomas, that's ambitious, but it will be kept in play by Peskett. The cutback finds Rowe. Opens up, does it? Oh, it's a poor layoff to Thomas. And that's a really nice turn to get away from Ferguson. Her attempted cross is blocked. 2 players coming in. Heavy challenge there. The referee's decision is corner. Well, Ipswich have got to create more. And Thomas certainly carrying out those instructions. Apologies with the issues with our feed from St Mary's. Thankfully, we haven't missed any of the action. Ipswich corner, just their second of the game, which the goalkeeper comes and gets a firm fist to. Thomas has the ball in play. Cross is behind Goddard, but she's able to get enough on it. It doesn't clear effectively enough, though. Here's Rowe. Ferguson quickest to react, but Ipswich do have possession back. This is what they want to happen here. Ipswich just enjoy a bit more possession, just find their feet. Well, Southampton fans just saw 1 win all campaign during the 2024-2025 season. Surely they're close to securing 3 points for the first time in almost a year, despite how long there is left to play here. Ferguson heads in fields. There was a foul there on Robertson. Bashford on the stretch. Primus. Rowe. Ipswich's press pays off. No way through, though, for O'Brien. Collette. Good width being provided by Ferguson, making effective use of this big pitch at St Mary's. Robertson. Akpan inadvertently pokes it forward in a first. I think that's a first touch of the second half since coming on. The substitute Ruby took it. I'm not sure this was an intentional through ball, but Tucker was alert. Southampton made their changes at the break, and less than 10 minutes into the second half, Joe Sheehan looks to his reinforcements to try and change things. Ruby Doe comes on to replace Kyra Robertson. And Jenna Deere also coming on to replace Lucy O'Brien. Southampton corner. Two goals came from Southampton corners in the opening 45 plus stoppage time. You can't say Ipswich Town you haven't been warned. Tara Ball goes low, bounces up. Goalkeeper can't clear. Bit of a scramble. Doe falls to Primus. And is it poked home? It is! It's a brace for Bashford. Not from a corner this time around, but Ipswich were unable to clear. Southampton kept the pressure on. And Mary Bashford, brought in from Charlton, further boosts her growing profile. She's got her second of the game. And I'm afraid to say, from an Ipswich Town perspective, this one is done and dusted. Surely there's no way back. The goalkeeper with the initial save, but it's the Southampton midfielder who's most alert and had a simple task, the simple task of nodding home with a boot from close range. Southampton 4, Ipswich Town 0. So Mary Bashford it is. It is the first WSL 2 player to score multiple goals in one game this season. Goddard. Here is Bashford on a hat-trick. Collette continues a run, gets it back from Ferguson. Tucker's out wide. She's in behind, is she? Nice turn. Low cross. Boswell clears. Southampton want a free kick. Play continues. Ferguson. Rihanna Dean, the sole Ipswich body, trying to make things happen at the other ends. Simpson overhits that ball. And Negri comfortable for a breather. Well, he'll be delighted, Simon Parker. A new manager coming in and instantly making a notable impact. There will be a stoppage. Peak it is. He's pointing towards a shoulder. That's why we saw Simon Parker just getting the drinks readied, because his players are reconvening, and so too Ipswich Town. He hasn't given much away, Joe Sheehan. I guess the key is certainly a good poker face. Never get too high, never get too low. but he knows a lot of significant lessons will be learnt here at St Mary's on the journey home and building towards future fixtures. Southampton spoke in the build-off about how happy they were with season ticket sales, over 700 at the last official publication, and I'm sure that's grown as the game has got closer. And there's nothing more than helping boost future ticket sales than a winning team to come and support, and that's exactly what's happening so far for Southampton Women FC. Peak is going to have to spend a short period of time on the sidelines after receiving medical treatment on field. Ipswich born and bred, so it's a proud day for her in terms of representing her hometown, quite literally, in the second tier. But it's one of those, when they look back at the footage, it's going to be painful viewing. But lessons will have to be learnt if they want to make sure that their stay in WSL 2 is not just a short-term one. Primus, good strength, close control. Referee tried to play the advantage, but does pull it back for a free kick. First yellow card of the game is shown as well. Ruby Doe confirmed as being the recipient of the yellow cards. Great cross, met by Goddard, and she headed it back across goal, but the assistant's flag has been raised for offside. Every time Southampton come forwards, they are threatening. A strong hold-up play there from Waring. Ipswich haven't given up. Doe. Thomas almost got it the way of a teammate there. Peak able to get across and play the ball back to Negri. Boswell. Miss hit there, I don't think that was the intention. Thomas able to roll Collette, but excellent recovery from the Southampton fullback. Well, I'm sure he would have taken a win in any manner in which it came, but Simon Parker will be delighted at both boxes, scoring and defensively. I can't really think of a chance of significant note for Ipswich Town. And as for visiting Joe Sheehan, yet to see his side register an attempt on goal. Primus just lost track of the ball there. Peak's clearance. Doe gets the better of Dean. Former teammates, of course, with Rihanna Dean making the switch from Southampton during the summit. is it a case of Ipswich are finding their feet a little bit more, certainly having a lot more possession, or is it with the current scoreline that Southampton don't really need to chase anything here? Akpan. Ferguson tries to roll Doe. Southampton throw. Collette with the miscue. Peskett. Doe. Slip there, but they're able to recover. Certainly asking questions here, Ipswich, but it's just that quality that's lacking. Thomas. Doe. Southampton pressing, asking questions. Taking risks here, the hosts. I guess you can do when you're 4 goals up, and we know throughout the game, men's, women's, all levels, that playing out from the back is a thing, and Southampton want to preserve the clean sheet here. Good recovery there. Bashford with the slide challenge. Ball in. It's going to be comfortable for Fran Stenson. Tucker with the flick on, but Primus hadn't made the run. Peak. Well, it was a difficult one to read in terms of expectations for Southampton this season. They have finished as high as 4th in WSL 2, but after what was a disappointing campaign last time out. A reminder, there are 2 automatic promotion spots available. A lot of football still to be played, but if Southampton can certainly build on this, could they be one of those unlikely challenges? Ipswich cross comes in, finds Dean with a back to goal. Thomas can't get her shot off. Collette with the slide. Tucker. Lovely bit of trickery there. Asking a lot, though, of her teammates. Too much, indeed, of Megan Collette, and she commits the foul on Mitchell. It has been that sort of game with lots of niggly fouls and players getting up to speed with the movement of opposition. Ipswich throw. Changes are being readied by Ipswich Town. Those on the bench desperate to get on and get their first taste of playing at this level. In Ipswich Town colours. McAloney. Doe. Nice from Peskett. Dean angles against it, lovely feet, but just when she thought it had opened up, it was Tara Bourne to deny her former teammates. I do believe that might be the last bit of action from Rhianna Dean. Subs are being readied from the visiting bench, and we understand that it is the Ipswich Town number 9 who is about to make way. Not just yet, though. Those eagle-eyed amongst you will also spot there is a Southampton change about to be made as well. Dean, she's fouled, and she'll want to stay on for this free kick. Well, Fran Stenson calling for attention, so that's why you saw the players break away to the right-hand side of the screen there, heading towards their respective technical areas. The issue appears to be with her right leg. We have referenced those changes, and it looks as though the fourth assistant there, Ella Broad, is about to introduce a new addition from either side. First Ipswich with the change. So off goes their number 9, Rhianna Dean. And in her place is an 18-year-old, Maddie Earle, my apologies, who made the switch from Arsenal, who will remain her parent club, so she is on loan. She had spells with both Bristol City and Sheffield United in this division last season, but she gets her first bit of action in the colours of Ipswich Town, and it looks as though Southampton are just going to hold out until this free kick has been taken before introducing one of their new additions. Doe. Well, I'll be honest with you, yet to see a real bit of quality from a set-piece situation. That's better, causing problems, and Goddard, with a right boot, is able to clear. And it does now allow Southampton a chance to make that change. One debutant makes way for another. Abby Ferguson heading down south, the Scot for football, quite literally, on the south coast here with Southampton. And Kira Sina, an Irish recruit brought in from Cork City, where she's played a lot of football in her native country, gets her first taste of life in England with what? Just less than quarter of an hour of normal time remaining. Boswell. Does look as though Southampton are rejigging things up front. It looks as though Tucker will play more centrally. Primus has come over to the right, and Sina will be on the left. Goalkeeper comes, takes charge of that situation. Akpan. Stenson. Akpan. Ipswich still trying to make things happen here. Thomas tries to shift away from Bashford. This is encouraging for the visitors. Biding their time here, and have they won a corner? No, the final touch was off a blue shirt, so it will be a goal kick to Southampton. Sina working back defensively. No way through though. Ipswich throw, which they're quick to take. Tara Bourne prevents them from gaining any further territory. Good 1-2 there. Peak. Unable to find a teammate. Gets the ball back though. Negri was a Golden Glove winner last season, 14 clean sheets in total. She's going to have to wait till at least the second game before she can register a shutout. There are question marks at both ends, it has to be said, defensively and offensively, just whether or not right here and now Ipswich are up to the tasks and the demands required of life in WSL 2. a reminder, it was a 4-0 scoreline on Friday evening, an away win. Sheffield United 0, Sunderland 4. That's what kick-started the WSL 2 season officially. As you can see here today at St Mary's, Southampton 4, Ipswich 0. And there are 4 remaining fixtures to bring you live on the Barclays Women's Super League 2 YouTube channel, all kicking off at 1400 BST UK time. Birmingham against Bristol City, Charlton Crystal Palace, Nottingham Forest Newcastle United, Portsmouth Durham. Match choice completely down to you. Just hit the subscribe button on YouTube. Boswell. Peak. Doe on the stretch, under pressure. Boswell. Looking for Pescott, but doesn't come off this time, but still. Ipswich come forward. Cross comes in. It's behind everyone in blue. McAloney able to shrug off Rowe. Maybe too many touches there being taken by Southampton. Cleared by Goddard. Tucker with a good spin. She's one-on-one here with Peak. Has the Ipswich defender on the back foot. Does she have the space and trickery? She's been forced wide. She does have to settle for a corner. Congratulations all around, both for the attacking intent being shown there by the substitute Ruby Tucker, but equally so, Paige Peak sticking to the task. She was unable to match the Southampton player for speed, but good positional awareness and just made life difficult. It is another one of those threatening Southampton corners, though. Their 7th of the game. It's once again going to be the left boot of Jess Simpson. Goes deep with this one. Met by an Ipswich head. Collects. Akpan and Simpson combine to bring a bit more control for Southampton, and they're happy enough to go all the way back to Fran Stenson, who's got excellent distribution, it has to be said. So little backlift with that. The referee saw an infringement, though. I'm not sure Primus heard the whistle. Yeah, there's one for the highlights reel. Boswell. Deer can't help it on. Akpan. The attempted pass does, well, I was about to say McAloney had it, but she thought she had more time than Doe was prepared to give it. And Doe's not happy. Oh, we know about the rules as regards to delaying the restart, so for me that possibly should have been a yellow card. Peak, drop of the shoulder, just buys a bit of space away from Tucker. Not really got into the game so far. Hazil for Ipswich. Layoff and the strike. which was eventually taken by Genedia. Bit of brightness being shown by Earl in helping create the opportunity. The two substitutes combining. But as we tick by in the 85th minute, Ipswich still yet to have an attempt on target. There will be stoppage time. There's been a few little incidents where players have received medical treatments. Well, I've no doubt it would have been a competitive recruitment process to appoint a new Southampton head coach. Simon Parker's the man who stood out in his methods and projections for the side so far, and we have to admit we're not even 90 minutes into his tenure. Looked to be clearly vindication for the club hierarchy. An expectant fan base, it has to be said. Whilst Ipswich, I'm sure, will take just remaining in this division as success. I'm pretty sure internally at least, and inside that home dressing room, the discussions will be about much more this season. And we do hear that more changes are forthcoming.
Today's match attendance is 3,896. Thank you so much, fans.
So the stadium public announcement system just confirming just shy of 4,000 spectators here inside St Mary's Stadium. So what a start that is. Ideal backing for the home sides. Credit to the commercial and marketing team. They've done their bit in promoting the opening fixture, and the players have more than stepped up. And as you can see by the scoreline, it's going to be a comfortable opening day win, which have been few and far between of late for Southampton, starting the season on a positive foot. Check. Thomas was able to get there first, and she was in the middle of a Collette and Goddard sandwich there. And the referee does look to her notebook for the first time to distribute a yellow card to a Southampton player. And it is Amy Goddard who picks up her first yellow card in Southampton colours. Scorer of the second goal here today. One of many new faces that Southampton fans are being introduced to here today. Doe. Her free kick. Primus with the header. And it was sent back towards goal by Leah Mitchell. But that was never going to trouble Fran Stenson.
Double substitution for the Saints. First of all, coming off number 10, Michaela Macaloni, to be replaced by number 27, Izzy Watts. Also coming off for the Saints.
So a double change from Simon Watts. From Simon Parker even. Izzy Watts is being ready to come on, but first player to be introduced will be Esther Roberts there, number 35. I'll say that. There we go. It is Watts who sprints onto the field, the 19-year-old. As the captain hands over the armbands, and Esther Roberts it is. And the player out of shot, who's gone off on the far side, was another one of those debutants, Michaela Macaloni, the Scots. is the hope of a consolation here for Ipswich Town. Mitchell has it back. Cross comes in. It's too deep. Will Doe get there? No. Instead, she commits the foul. Watts it was who was brought down. So there will be a minimum of 5 added minutes of stoppage time here. Thomas heads backwards rather than clear. Well, it was a 3-0 scoreline at the break, so you could read into that Ipswich have been better in this second 45. But Southampton's third goal did come in first half stoppage time, particularly if they're able to win another corner, which has brought them great joy here today. Goddard, who's stood out, has been a really impressive debutant. You know what you're getting with her, experience, and if she can chip in with a few goals as well, already off the mark in Southampton colours. Peskett trying to shake off Tucker, which she does. Skips past another challenge too. Her ball in is just over hit, but despite the scoreline, it's one of those days where, particularly for those Ipswich fans, we just caught shot of behind the goal there, have seen their players trying to step up to a higher level. They'll all grow and learn from this. And Sophie Peskett, who scored 23 goals and won the Golden Boot last season, knows just how difficult it is to get off the mark. Now they've moved up a level. Stadium PA confirming that so far the 2 goals of Mary Bashford have seen her be awarded player of the match. She's on a hat-trick and she's coming forward here. Watts made life difficult there for herself, Watts, and couldn't lay it off to Roberts. And Ipswich will want to try and run as much time down with this goal kick here. Bashford, who turns 21 later this month. Cena's had it. Collects. Miscue from Simpson. Will Hill get there? No, she wasn't quick enough. So we played 3 of the minimum 5 here. And already, well, I'm sure perhaps not quite already, but Simon Parker will be looking ahead to those forthcoming fixtures. 3 of their opening 4 games are here at the St Mary's Stadium. And if this is a case or a platform to build off, and he talked about making life difficult for visiting opponents, I'm sure, with all due respect, they'll have bigger tests than Ipswich Town, but it's just what you want. New face in the dugout, new team pretty much out on the pitch, and a drastic turnaround in fortunes from what they had to endure, those Southampton supporters, last season. So not too much more for the visiting manager to, I want to say the words endure, but also learn and be able to take forwards. Bashford. She's full of confidence, as you can see. Gets away from Earl once, twice. And just able to help Southampton run the clock down. Rose header. Tucker with the miscue on the header, but the ball's presented straight back to it. Is there still time for one more here? Cena will keep this in play. She's tracked by Neville. Space. Cut back. And it comes to nothing, and the referee puts the whistle to her lips to end what has been a chasing experience to life in WSL 2 for Ipswich Town. But the new head coach at Southampton, Simon Parker, he gets off to a dream start. 4-0 the final score. Primus, the captain, the new club captain, put them in front after barely 10 minutes played. A new signing, Goddard, she headed home from a corner inside half an hour. First half stoppage time saw Bashford get her first of 2 goals in the afternoon. She had to wait just shy of 15 minutes into the second half to confirm that brace. Hugs, handshakes, high fives all around for those in red and white. It's been emphatic. Full time at St Mary's Stadium. Southampton 4, Ipswich Town 0. Let's have a look at the full-time statistics, which makes plenty of positive reading for Southampton. Very creative in the final third, a clean sheet as well. And lots of those duels and able to be more than deserving of their full-time victory. Repeating the exact same scoreline that we witnessed up north in Sheffield last night on Friday evening, which saw Sheffield United on the receiving end of a 4-0 away victory for Sunderland, and following up into the opening weekend of WSL 2. The goals keep on coming, and this time it's 4 for Southampton. So confirmation there. Sunderland 4-0 winners on Friday evening. Southampton 4-0 winners on Saturday afternoon, and your choice of 4 fixtures live across the Barclays Women's Super League 2 YouTube channel. Birmingham hosting Bristol, a London derby between Charlton and Palace. Forest, they welcome Newcastle United, and Portsmouth take on Durham. So if you have missed any of what has been a really good watch at the St Mary's Stadium, let's run you through the game's highlights. So it was an expected Goddard. It was with the hoof clearance, with all due respect, but look at this for pace from Ali Brazil, and the awareness though to hold up play, wait for support, and in the 9th minute, Southampton's new captain, Atalanta Primus, opened up her account for the new campaign. Just what they and the home support wanted. Front to back. You have to ask questions about the Ipswich defending of this, but Great composure from Brazil. She gets her first assist, and in the space of 10 minutes, Simon Parker was up and running. They'd already threatened when it comes to set pieces, Southampton, and they were able to double their advantage inside half an hour. New signing Amy Goddard, picked out by fellow centre-half Tara Bourne from the corner. Brought in from Sunderland for her defensive attributes, but as we can see there, she'll look to chip in. And then in first half stoppage time, another new recruit. This time via Charlton, Mary Bashford. Got on the end of the delivery, this time from Jess Simpson. Beats the Ipswich Town defender at the near post to head home. And at the break, it was a comfortable 3-0 scoreline. And they didn't have to wait too long into the second 45 for their first chance, which came inside 20 seconds. No let-up from the Saints. And it was really difficult throughout the game to see a clear road back into the match for Ipswich. Primus with the strike. Bashford was alert. And that's how it ended. Southampton 4, Ipswich 0. So there we go. That concludes our coverage from St Mary's. Remember, 4 WSL 2 games taking place on Sunday, all kicking off at 1400 British time. Match choice viewing available live here on Barclays Women's Super League 2 YouTube channel. I've been Tom Gale. Thanks for watching and look forward to you joining us again soon.